Well, hello there. It's another hot ass day here in Australia. These sweaty days never seem to end. Been sitting in my room trying to meditate and I'm just falling asleep because it's so hot. So I thought I'd come out and make a video for you guys and let you know what's going on in me. Just going to cut straight to the point. The truth is, I'm in love. And it scares the bejesus out of me. I question if I'm actually in love, or if I'm just fantasizing. I question whether this whole idea of love is even a real thing. And I got to talk from experience, right? Because you can listen to other people all day long, but until you've experienced it yourself, none of that stuff means anything. It's all just hearsay. So right now I'm feeling a lot of fear. This is what I was getting at in my last couple of videos, 2 videos ago when I opened up. What I didn't tell you was that all these emotions are coming up because I'm feeling this love for a specific woman. And she isn't giving me any clues. She's not making it obvious that she feels the same way, that she doesn't feel the same way. She's very much in her guarded feminine state right now. And I know there's a connection. My intuition has shown me clearly that there's a connection. But what I really feel is that she is mirroring back to me my own insecurity. Because up until now, I haven't really gone all the way. I haven't really put it all on the line. And a real woman who wants a real man she's not going to let you off the hook. A real woman is going to demand that you be a king. She's going to demand that you put it all on the line for her. Because if you can't do that, then you don't love her. You're just infatuated. I've been on this trip so many times now, and I've never really stepped up. I've never really stepped up and put it all on the line for a woman. At least not from a place of strength. I've done it from a place of weakness, a place of neediness, a place of depletion. But I've never come to a woman from a place of fullness like what I have now. And offered her that fullness. Offered her my pure king energy. And there's this part of me which wants to keep pussyfooting around, keep playing the game with her. Only invest as much as I'm seeing her give back to me. Do all the things that we're taught to do as savvy men who understand women. Don't overinvest. Don't show too much interest. Don't give her too much attention. But you know, I'm kind of sick of that. I'm kind of sick of pussyfooting around. I'm at the point now where I'm done playing games. I'm ready to be with a woman who can receive my intensity. Women love intensity. But they want to know that it's coming from a place of fullness and not a place of depletion. This is why you can have two guys treating her the exact same way with a lot of intensity. And one will disgust her, like past versions of myself have disgusted many of my previous love interests. Or that same intensity coming from a place of fullness can make her soaking wet. You got to reach this point where you're not afraid to die anymore. This is what I've been talking about. There's a part of you, there's a part of me which is a child, a little boy. That part of you never goes away. But you reach a point where you're willing to let that child expose itself. You're willing to expose all of these aspects of yourself not because you've decided that you're going to accept yourself and you used your willpower to accept yourself and now everything's fine. You reach a point of self-acceptance when every attempt to reject these parts of yourself just fails. Every attempt to hide these parts of yourself every attempt to pretend that these parts of yourself don't exist fail. I know there's a part of me that's weak. There's a part of me that's scared of being hurt. There's a part of me that's needy, that just wants mummy to take care of me. There is. I can't deny it. I can't pretend it's not there. Every time I pretend it's not there, it just emerges at exactly the wrong time when I don't want it to. So there's no getting around it. I accept that part of me because I have no choice. And now that I am accepting this part of myself, which is quite weak and scared and small and needy, I'm not so afraid to show that to her. I'm not so afraid that she's going to be disgusted by it. Because she's only going to mirror back to me what I feel about that part of myself. Having that part of me isn't the problem. The fact that there is a weak part of me isn't the problem. It's the fact that I've been ashamed of it. I've been trying to hide it. I've been trying to pretend that it's not there. And that is what shows up like a flashing red light when I've tried to get truly intimate with women in the past. It's like they smell this festering wound in me, this part of me that I haven't accepted. And then they mirror that back to me. They show me their disgust, which is really my disgust at myself. They show me their contempt. They show me their indifference, their boredom with me, because that's how I've been treating myself. So, is love real? Is it possible to merge, to have true union, true intimacy? This is the question that I've asked myself. This is the question which is bringing so much depression and sadness and feelings of emptiness, meaninglessness to the surface for me lately. This is why I broke down the other day. You don't see all the other times that I've broke down, literally going through agony. Is love real? Can I allow myself to surrender to love? Can I allow myself to love her that much? Even if it doesn't seem like she feels the same way. That's some scary shit. But it's the point that I've reached, and nothing else really matters or makes sense without that, without stepping into that. Guys who've been doing celibacy, been single for years, embracing their aloneness. A lot of these dudes are, I feel, avoidant. They're really hiding. And I don't judge you. I've spent years of my life being single. And it's extremely valuable. I won't downplay that. If you haven't spent a year or 2 years being single, then it's something that you need to experience. You need to know how to be alone. But I've spent a lot of time alone. And there comes a point where you realize that that's not where it's at. Being a monk is not where it's at. As a man, as a king, you are incomplete until you achieve that divine union. Don't write this off because it triggers you. You are incomplete without your feminine counterpart. It is not good for man to be alone. Not that it's not okay. It's perfectly okay to be alone. But it's not good for you to stay alone. We are made for connection. We are made for relationship. And we find the face of God in our woman. I'm not talking about worshipping her as God. I'm not talking about putting her ego on a pedestal. I'm not talking about deifying her body or pretending that she's perfect. What I'm talking about is connecting with her spirit. Because her spirit is God, just like yours is. The spirit of a man knows the mind of a man, and nothing can hide from it. You experience God when you connect with her spirit. But to do that demands that you step up. It demands that you put your fear to the side, or rather that you step into your fear. You step into the furnace like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You step into the furnace of Kali, who cuts off the heads of men, who hangs their heads around her belt as trophies of war. She will cut off your head. That's her purpose as the feminine. That's her role as Shakti, so that you can become Shiva. You can't be Shiva while you're living up here. This is the role of the woman, to bring you back into your body, into your soul, into your spirit. This is something that monks spend decades, lifetimes, meditating to try and achieve. But if they're lucky, they'll be initiated into the secret of secrets, into the holy of holies, the place in the temple which is hidden from the public, the inner sanctum, where the Ark of the Covenant resides, which contains the presence of God. This sacred vessel, covered in gold, shining with glory, is adorned with two cherubim, a male and a female angel, touching wings, a symbol of sexual connection. It's all leading back to this. And you'll deny it because you're afraid, just like I have. You'll try to pretend that you can do it alone. You'll try to pretend that you can achieve self-realization with a superficial relationship where you don't put your heart on the line, where you don't connect with her in your spirit. And then you'll find yourself in addiction because you're craving for this, you're yearning for this. This is the purpose of semen retention, to bring you back to a place of fullness within your masculine self so that you can merge with the feminine. I got on this journey because I wanted to merge with the feminine, just like most of you did. You wanted sex. You wanted to be more attractive. And it worked, didn't it? You've seen evidence that it works. But there's a next step. The next step is where you expose your heart, your masculine core. You bring it to the altar where she is standing with a knife, the high priestess. You put your heart on that altar and you allow her to plunge that knife into your heart. You receive the deepest wound from the feminine without fighting, without running, without pushing her away. You stand there and you take it. This is crucifixion. This is sacrifice. This is how an ordinary man becomes the king. Don't try and make sense of the concepts or the words. Just notice the resonance that you feel in your soul. This is where the journey leads you. You don't find satisfaction in having females attracted to you, in fucking a whole bunch of them. The only place you're going to find satisfaction is divine merging, two becoming one, reunion, ego dissolution. When your souls come together, your ego gets dissolved. There is no more you. This offends our postmodern culture, our ways of thinking. But that's because our ways of thinking are based on fear, denial. Come back to the ancient ways. Come back to the ways of our ancestors. There is no scarier path. There is no path that will bring more of your hidden terror to the surface. I've been going through the shit these last few weeks, these last few months since I started making these videos. You haven't seen all the shit I've been dealing with within myself. It's been the deepest purge I've ever gone through. And I'm at the point now where I'm ready. I'm ready to step into obliteration. I'm ready to step into the furnace, face first. Knowing full well that it will destroy me. But from destruction, rises the fiery phoenix. You know what you need to do.